Hello everyone and welcome to another installment of the Figuring Out Fatherhood Chris Unplugged podcast. I'm your host, Chris Topper, and new episodes of this podcast come out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. British Standard Time. What I do is I condense important life topics, fatherhood topics, and personal development topics that I've picked up in my journey into short, bite-sized videos to help you in your journey to become a better version of yourself and a better parent. So enough of all that. I'm decided to rebrand Chris Unplugged and actually detach it from Figuring Out Fatherhood. This is not to say I'm not going to continue putting out fatherhood content on this podcast. I will keep talking about fatherhood stuff, but at the same time, I didn't want to box myself into what I was going to put out. So, as part of the rebrand, for starters, I have got the logo. This new logo that you see on the screen was actually inspired by my daughter. She loves drawing rainbows. And one day she was drawing a rainbow and I don't know what it was. She either got distracted or she just left and she left an incomplete rainbow on my desk. So I was like, you know, I quite like this. I'd like to incorporate this into my new logo. So I did just that. And yeah, here you can see her original drawing. And here you can see my new logo. Secondly, I'm getting rid of that horrible opener I used to have. Now, that opening I created in Canva, I made that very quickly. I just made it because I wanted to start putting out a podcast ASAP. I didn't give it much thought, but now I have a new opening. Thirdly, you can see that I've changed my background filming space. I hope this actually works, but I do have two other colors. I've got a navy blue and a dark green. I hope one of these three works and you viewers take to one of them. If not, I will go out and buy another color. I'm thinking to just go do white, like every other YouTuber out there. But I wanted to add some color into what I was doing, so I've done just that. Let me know if you like the pink. If not, I'll try something else. And finally, like I said, I will keep speaking on parenting and fatherhood topics. However, I haven't quite bottomed out what else I want to talk about. But what I do know is I will continue to put out good vibrations, good energy, tips I'm following to be a better person, lessons I've learned in life, lessons I've learned from books I'm reading. The aim here primarily is to leave you guys feeling enriched every time you come on here and watch 50 minutes of me talking. That is the aim here. And just finally, I think it's important to note that if there's anything specific you want to talk about, feel free to just drop me a DM on Instagram. You can leave a comment on YouTube. You can shoot me an email if you must. But this is an open platform. I just want to make sure that I cover a variety of topics that will ensure that we feel nourished, we feel enriched every time we watch an episode. Now that that's covered, second thing on my agenda today is Figuring Out Fatherhood Season 2. I'd like to thank every single person that's watched an episode, liked it, shared it on social media, followed me off the back of watching it. Every single person that's interacted with or engaged with my content, Figuring Out Fatherhood Season 2. I am truly grateful. Shout out, obviously, the fathers that came on it. Shout out to the viewers. Shout out to my videographer, Toby. Shout out to the venue I used, Pizza Peckham. Honestly grateful for everything. It's an important part of my journey and it's an important project to me. And then I'm looking to start filming season 3, probably towards the end of Q3 of this year. So if there's anyone within the UK, or you know what, even internationally that you'd like to see on this platform, do let me know and I will reach out to them. The vision for Figuring Out Fatherhood remains the same: to make sure our stories are told, to make sure our stories are heard, to make sure we keep learning, and to make sure we keep building a community. It doesn't change. We're trying to become better men, we're trying to become better fathers. And there is one final thing on the agenda today. I want to talk about people that belittle your passions, your project, anything you're doing. There's a thing that people do where it's just like, if it's not your day job, they'll say something like along the lines of, how's your little business? How's your little bakery? How's your little podcast? How's your little YouTube show? How's your little YouTube channel? One of the most painful things about this is the fact that it could come from anyone, and this includes the people whose opinions you hold to high regard. And that's one of the things that makes it the most painful, because there's nothing you can do about it, because now you take your opinion to heart. And I'll be honest with you, when I first started season 1, people say to you, oh, how's your little show going? How's your little podcast going? And because I wasn't as confident in what I was doing back then, I wouldn't put them up on it. I was just like, yeah, it's going fine. But little did I know that subconsciously I was also belittling what I was doing. Subconsciously I was actually accepting that it was viewed as little. And this manifested itself as seeds of doubt. Like, should I keep doing it? Am I going to keep getting better? Is it little? But the phase of my life I'm in right now, like this, I refuse to let anybody call it little. People can look at my followers, they can look at the views, look at the subscribers, all of that stuff, and be like, yeah, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, it's little in comparison to the people with millions or the hundreds of thousands of followers. But I believe in what I'm doing, and I need you guys to understand as well that as long as you believe in what you're doing, do not let a single person call it little. If someone says to you, how's your little business going? How's your little hair business going? How's your little bakery business going? How's your little podcast going? Make sure you pull them up on it. What do you mean little? Why is it little to you? Why do you feel like you can use an adjective to describe what I'm doing? And you're gonna watch them squirm, watch them be like, I don't know what. Do you get what I mean? So call them out on it, and you will feel better after. I promise you, because this is your passion. This is what you've put your energy and your time into. Do not let a single person call whatever it is you're doing on the side little. As far as I'm aware, my day job is what I see as little. My day job is just a means to an end. My day job isn't forever. This Figuring Out Fatherhood, to me, this is forever. My photography I do on the side, to me, that is forever. These are things that, videography, that is forever. These are things that I will refuse to let anyone call little. You can call my day job little if you want. They pay my bills, but besides that, it's just a means to an end. To be honest, it is entirely up to you if you're going to do that or not, but I would really, really encourage you to. Not everyone's got that confidence to be like, hey, no, don't say that about whatever I'm doing. Not everyone's going to be like, what do you mean by little? I know everyone's capable of doing that, and that's absolutely fine as well. But I need you to just start to believe in yourself, regardless of what people don't. People may say it's little, but I need you to understand that if it's not little to you, then it's not little. What you think about what you're doing is all that matters, not what people think. Letting people call whatever you're doing little speaks volumes of how you view what you're doing. If you see it as little and people call it little, that's okay. That's okay. If you're passionate about what you're doing, if you believe in what you're doing, I would really encourage you to not let people call it little, honestly. Anyway, I see all this to say. First of all, I hope you like the rebrand. If you don't like it, tough. Secondly, Figuring Out Fatherhood season 2, it's only 7 episodes, but I feel like I've accomplished a lot more in those 7 episodes than I did across the first 17 from season 1. Besides actually just operating the cameras itself, I did everything else myself. I sourced the venue, did editing, the sound. I learned to do all this stuff in the time I took off from season 1. I learned to do everything because I wanted to put out content of my own. I wanted to own my content. And I did it. I actually did. So watch out for season 3. I'm aiming to release that towards the end of the year. And finally, don't let anyone below your passion, your projects, anything you're doing. Refuse to let it happen. Own your stuff. Believe in yourself like I believe in you, like I believe in myself. That's one of the major keys to being successful in this life, is believing in what you're doing and believing you're capable. If you let other people's opinions on what you're doing sway how you feel about what you're doing, it's only a matter of time before you crumble. And that's all I have for you today, guys. If you liked this episode, make sure it's shared with at least one person. It will mean the world to me. And I'm going to leave you guys how I always leave, and that's to make your mission today, to make a decision that future you'll be grateful for. Future you'll be grateful for, not people who try to belittle you or your passions. So until next time, guys.